right, cutting straight across to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has landed in the United Arab Emirates. After that successful trip in France, the Prime Minister is on in UAE. Now he is in Abu Dhabi. We'll get you more details in terms of what's on the agenda right there. He's being greeted by the leaders. He's getting a welcome over there in United Arab Emirates. You can see there is a welcome of Prime Minister Narendra Modi as soon as he lands. Geeta Mohan is now joining us for the latest on this. Geeta, we can see visuals coming in India Today exclusive of the Prime Minister landing in Abu Dhabi. He's in United Arab Emirates. What's on the agenda for the Prime Minister after that successful trip to France?
Well, the agenda very clear over here, Chelsea. It is an official visit. It's a day visit, but a very important one at that. This is Prime Minister Modi's fifth visit to the UAE. Two visits by Sheikh Nahyan to India, which means 7 leadership visits in a matter of 9 years between India and the UAE. So a very significant visit yet again. It will begin with his first meeting would be with Sultan Jaber, who is the president-elect of COP28, Chetty. And despite all the concerns that have been raised and criticism the world over with regards to the UAE presidency of the COP28, and the president-elect being the head of ADNOC as well, which is an oil firm, and the world talks about conflict of interest. Here India is showing solidarity, saying that it is the issue of climate change that should be addressed, and the UAE having held presidency this year, one has to cooperate and ensure that the real conversations on the impact of climate change really take place. So his first meeting is going to be with Sultan Jaber after he lands, after which there are going to be bilateral talks between, there is a ceremonial welcome followed by delegation level talks with Sheikh Nahyan, and then press statements followed by a banquet lunch, and then he will be returning to Delhi. So it's a very short visit, but one that will be significant. We spoke with the Indian envoy to the UAE, Ambassador Sanjay Sudhir, who said that there is a critical announcement on a very important one on educational cooperation, where an IIT would be coming up in Abu Dhabi. There are some other announcements that are also going to take place, but we'll have to wait and see what that really encompasses in terms of
key areas of energy, food security and defense.
Well, absolutely, Chetty. These are ongoing areas of cooperation. And we will see statements that will signify the importance of forward movement on that front. And the security architecture, the partnership, there is going to be some announcement on that front as well, and as to how the two countries are going to cooperate. Furthermore, the IIT, establishing of an IIT in Abu Dhabi is going to be significant, not just for the UAE, but also for India. And we are also looking at more trade and connectivity. After the CEPA that was signed between the two countries, we are looking at more businesses going both ways. But it's one important question, Chetty, that many are asking is why the UAE? Why has the Prime Minister frequented the UAE so much? The fact is that the UAE in West Asia and in the Muslim world and the Islamic world has been a very important trusted partner of India. Take, for example, two very important areas: extradition of fugitives, of people who are wanted in India. UAE no longer is a safe haven for fugitives who are wanted in India. Secondly, on the Kashmir issue and the G20, India has hosted the G20 summit in G20 events in Kashmir, and UAE participated as an invitee. But more so and more importantly, just ahead of the G20, there was an investor summit that was held in Srinagar, and the UAE, of all the countries in West Asia who are iffy about investing in Kashmir or talking about Kashmir or engaging Kashmir because of the OIC position calling Kashmir a disputed territory, UAE has come forward and has not only engaged in that investor summit, but also pledged, MR has pledged 500 crores of investment in Kashmir, shopping mall in Srinagar, infrastructure projects around Kashmir. So that's significant coming from a country that holds a very important position in the OIC, a place where India is criticized very often, but that's a forum where the UAE now stands with India on many occasions vis-a-vis Pakistan.
Any comments coming in from the Ministry of External Affairs on the back of this visit of Prime Minister Modi to UAE?
Well, Chetty, we will just be playing out the Indian envoy's, the Indian envoy to the UAE, Ambassador Sanjay Sudhir's interview, and that certainly is the voice of the Ministry of External Affairs as to what this. It's a comprehensive interview as to what this visit really holds, how important it is, what are the areas that will come up for discussion, and how the two countries are going to move forward on various fronts, including trade, connectivity, security, defense, as also the areas that might trouble countries in the neighborhood, particularly Pakistan, but one where the UAE stands strongly with India.
Right. And how many days is the Prime Minister expected to be in UAE?
Well, it's a day-long visit, which means he lands right now, followed by a meeting with Sultan Jaber, which will be followed by a ceremonial welcome and the delegation-level talks. And after press statements and a banquet lunch that will be hosted by Sheikh Al Nahyan, he will head for Delhi. So it's a short visit, Chetty, but one that is going to have a lot of outcomes and deliverables.
Yes, and upon his landing in Delhi, one also is going to be looking forward to what he has to say about many issues that Delhi is currently facing with the flood situation in North Delhi, and you've got Manipur, you've got so many other issues at hand in India and business that he'd have to take control of when he comes back. Geeta.
Well, that's right. See, the fact that India and various parts of India are facing the worst kind of floods and flood-like situation clearly spells out the importance in addressing the issue of climate change. The conversation with Sultan Jaber, who is the president-elect of COP28, which is a climate change forum, and this is the first review forum after the Paris Agreement, is going to focus on that. So when he returns, and also in Paris, Chetty, there was a joint statement, a separate statement on single-use plastic. So when he comes back, he is going to address those issues as well. But there are a lot of challenges back home, and we'll have to wait and see when he returns what his statement is going to look like, not just on the two-country visit front, but also on the domestic front.
Absolutely, Geeta.